So to wrap up this Pivot Table 101 section, I wanted to include one lecture to talk about how pivot tables are actually working. So in other words, when you pull back that curtain, what exactly is Excel doing behind the scenes to populate these values? So step one is about detecting and evaluating coordinates. And by coordinates, I mean the row labels, the columns or measures, and any filters that you've defined in a pivot table view. So in this case, if we're interested in knowing how this number 973 was calculated, we first start by looking at the coordinates that generate it. So in this case, the state is Arizona, the measure is total population, and the filter includes all ages. So those are our coordinates, and given those coordinates, Excel then jumps into the source data and it isolates only the cells that meet those exact criteria. So in this case, there are 5 individual cells or values for the state of Arizona for all ages. Now, once Excel knows which cells meet those criteria, step 2 is about applying any arithmetic. So sometimes you want to return the sum, the count, the max, or the min. In this case, we want to return the average of total population. So given these 5 cells from step 1, step 2 is about applying that average. And then finally, step 3 is when Excel just displays the result. So it takes those 5 numbers, adds them up, divides by 5, and that returns the 973 that then gets displayed in the pivot table. So a cool note here, you can actually double click on any specific value in a pivot table, and it will generate a new tab showing the exact source data used to calculate it. This can be a great tool to help QA or just get a better sense of exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. Back here in our IMDb movie database pivot, let's go ahead and apply some settings. I'm going to pull title out and bring genre into the row labels. And let's just apply some filters here. Let's only look at genres for Australian movies. So let's say we're curious how this $843 million revenue number was calculated. And this reflects the sum of all of the gross revenue for all action movies in Australia. To dive in deeper, all we need to do is double click that cell B7, and it creates this new sheet with a table that's essentially a subset or sampling of our full raw data filtered down based on the coordinates of my pivot table view. So as you can see, column D only includes titles where the genre equals action, and country in column F is filtered down to only show movies from Australia. So now if we scroll over to this gross revenue column, column Q, and select those values, we can see that the sum is 843,261,855. Jumping back to our pivot, 843,261,855. So that tells us exactly how that value is being calculated by showing us the actual subset of data that went into producing it. So let's go ahead and just delete that sheet. This won't change any of our actual source data. Everything else is preserved here in our original movie database tab. But there you go, nice little tip to better understand exactly how Excel is producing these values.